Hello everyone, so it's time for a new video and today I'm going to be talking about my physical TBR and this is by no means going to be like the whole thing. But if you didn't see my recent videos, I did recently move and I still don't have Wi-Fi, and so I wanted to talk about just physical books in this video because I can't, like, it's a pain in the ass right now to like download the book covers from Goodreads, you know, when it's like other types of books. And I also just really wanted to see the books that I'm the most excited about because I obviously reorganized absolutely everything and like I'm starting to remember where all my books are, but it's obviously in such a different order that like I need to just, you know, like I need to do a little bit more digging to find the books that I want to read the most in the near future. And so I have my TBR cart here. I don't have everything on there. I have a few books in front of me and on these shelves a little bit as well. I don't really like to have like my TBR and read books separated. I do really like the TBR cart, and like the purpose of that is to be the most like immediate books, you know, but also I want my shelves to look beautiful, and so it's a little bit of a mix and it works for me, honestly. So yes, anyways, let's just jump straight into the main book that I want to read in the near future. I think I'm going to talk about a lot, so I'm not going to go super in detail. But yeah, I'm excited. So let's just dive straight in. I think I'm going to start with a little pile in front of me because that's the books that I've taken off of my shelves, like, you know, in preparation to actually start reading them. So the first one here is The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Halton. I have this entire series, and I also have the first book in the second series by India Halton, and so I want to read them all. I've had them for ages and I keep procrastinating on it, even though I think I'm gonna absolutely love them, and so it's gonna be time to read this and I'm very excited. So I know this is like a fantasy historical romance, and a prim and proper lady thief must save her aunt from a crazed pirate and his dangerously charming henchman. So I just think everyone says this is like, you know, funny, adventurous, unique, and I just need that. I literally keep talking in my vlogs about how I want to read more genres again, not just contemporary romance, and this is perfect for that because it's like a combination of things that I love, fantasy and historical, and you know, so yeah, I absolutely will be diving into this very soon. The next that I have here that just came out that like I already started and like will be devouring is Wild and Wrangled by Layla Sage. I cannot wait for this. At the same time, I'm like a little bit like scared to read this because the series is gonna be over, and this is like maybe the most anticipated book that I have in here, and I think I'm gonna love every second. But this is Second Chance, small town. You know, they've loved each other for a long time. The heroine was supposed to get married, did not happen, and yeah, angsty. She's also a single mom, and just I think this is gonna be absolutely delicious, and I just like I'm already in love with this, and so yeah, this will absolutely be read in the next like week. The next book that I have here is one I'm actually super excited about, and I'm so happy that I finally took it off the shelf, and I did start it a little bit as well, and got to page 18, so not much, but it's not page 4, you know, and it is Cursed Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber, and oh my god, like, I will never get over this cover. This is like one of my favorite books that I own, and I think I'm gonna love the inside of it as well. So this is a second book in a trilogy, and I really enjoyed the first one. It is YA fantasy. There's two sisters, very different. One grew up a princess, the other one grew up with witches, away from the like royal family. And yeah, so absolutely love when that is like when that's a dynamic in a book, and the romances in this, like both the main characters have one and they're so fun. Basically, one is like a bodyguard romance and the other is like, I don't know how to describe that one easily. It is just incredibly addicting. And I think I'm gonna like actually fly through this. I am a little bit intimidated because it is fantasy and it's like 550 pages, but I need to get over that because like I think I'm gonna love it, you know? So like, what's the problem? You know, there's no problem. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend you check out the series because obviously I just read the first book, but I loved the first book and I haven't heard enough people talk about it and I think a lot of people would like it. The next book here is another contemporary adult romance and that is Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams, another one that recently came out and I'm absolutely dying for. And I actually also started this. I am a very chaotic reader, if you have not noticed yet. So I start a lot of things, like a little bit. Even when I love it though, like I just like my mood changes like this, you know? And so like that's a problem very often. But I think I'm gonna love this. I think it's gonna be my favorite book by Sarah Adams, possibly like so far, even though I've loved all of them. And I just like, I don't know. I also don't want it to be over. And this is like about two teachers. And yeah, like just, oh, I cannot wait for this. So the next one here is another book that I think is gonna be super interesting and I actually think it's the perfect read that I want in the spring, and that is The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. And I have had this for quite a while and I think I'm gonna love it and I don't know what I'm still doing not reading this. This is also like a possibly historical fantasy romance. I don't entirely understand the genre, but actually India Halton has a blurb on this, which says that reading The Honey Witch is like dreaming in a fragrant sunlit garden while bees sing around you. It's a gorgeous book with a lovely cottagecore ambience and a heartwarming sapphic romance intertwined with unique magic that enchants the imagination. That sounds incredible. And I was thinking that like I, again, necessarily want to read fantasy or paranormal or whatever. But at the same time, obviously a lot of them have more of like an autumnal vibe and not necessarily spring. But this, I was like, this is perfect for spring. And I think the magic is just gonna be so like beautiful and lively and it's a sapphic romance and I just think I'm gonna absolutely love this. And so I just desperately want to read it. And so I'm gonna make that happen. So now we're actually gonna go through my TBR cart here, which I don't know if I could like change the angle a little bit for a second. So I don't know, is this a stupid angle? I don't know. I also have a flower here, which I'm very happy about because it's the only flower that so far in my life I've managed to keep alive. So I have Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. I've had this on my TBR also for a long time, and this is the perfect example of like, this is contemporary, but it feels like a different vibe because it's like an adventure romance. They go to the jungle, they're like archaeologists and like rivals or something like that. And that's the main thing that I know. And there's a blurb here that says, Romancing the Stone meets Indiana Jones in this thrilling adventure romance. And another one that says, Adventure, Intrigue, and Steamy Romance. So I think it's just gonna be super fun and like a really cool setting, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy this, so I will be reading this. Then I have Rani Chaudhuri Must Die by Igdiba Jagardar. I cannot wait for this. And the only reason that I have now not read it is because one of my friends and I decided that we're gonna buddy read it, which that's not gonna happen for a while, probably. And so like, if I agree with someone that we're gonna buddy read, I'm not reading it alone, you know? And so it might take a little while, but I can't wait. Adiba Jagardar is one of my favorite YA authors. And this is a sapphic romance. It's rivals to lovers. I think I will be reading this whenever I am able to buddy read it. The next book that I have here is Isabel and the Rogue by Liana de la Rosa, and I absolutely cannot wait for this. I will like forever be obsessed with this cover, and I think it's gonna be super fun. So this is a historical romance, but I think it's like there's quite a lot of action in it. Okay, sparks fly between a wallflower and a spy during the London season. So yeah, and I feel like just, you know, I love wallflower heroines in historical romance, and I think it's gonna be super fun and like, you know, like some political vibes and action, and I'm ready. So I will be absolutely reading this as soon as possible as well. And then on this pile, I also have That Summer Feeling by Bridget Morrissey, which now that summer is slowly approaching, I desperately want to pick this up. And this is an adult sapphic romance where they go on like an adult camp. So the heroine gets divorced at the beginning of this, and there's something in her family, like a tiny little bit of like a magical thing or whatever, where they like can have this like moment to like predict their soulmate or something like that. And so she runs into this guy at an airport where like she has this vision into the future. And so she thinks he's her soulmate, but then she's gonna start falling for his sister instead. So I think this is gonna be, I think this is gonna have just beautiful summer vibes. And so I do think I'm gonna read this like a little bit later, like maybe in June, but anyway, it's coming soon anyway. So, yes. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the bottom shelf. So I think I'm gonna just change the angle back because this looks better, I think. So, the next book here, I think like is top 5 TBR, and that is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I have procrastinated on this because I'm terrified of like all the emotions it's gonna make me feel, but it's happening. I am desperate and I desperately need this in my life. And when I was looking at the TBR card today, I was just like, you know what? Like it's almost time. So once I finish maybe like 2 books, I think this is gonna get picked up. And the 3rd book is coming out like super soon, maybe I think in May. And so like, what am I waiting for, you know? And I think that I think maybe the heroine in this gets divorced as well, or like something happens. And this is single mom romance. And I think this is supposed to be about her like healing journey a lot. And I really want to read more romances like that with like, honestly, that do focus on like the main character, you know, and like their emotional journey. And so I will be devouring this. In a slightly similar vein, I have Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly, another one of my favorite authors, and another book that I think is gonna be very emotional, and I have not been emotionally prepared for it, but I want to soon, because this actually really feels like a summer romance as well, and I think I'm gonna absolutely love this. And I need it. So I think this is gonna be like very like hopeful, healing, soft vibes, and I am honestly really craving that. And I think they're gonna go on some kind of like a journey. Journey on the Pacific Crest Trail. It begins with saving a hot stranger from a snake. And yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about like like with spring and everything, I really want to spend more time like in nature and stuff like that. And I would love to read books that are also more set in nature as well. So, then I have Whiskey Business by Elliot Fletcher. Another book that I've been wanting to read for a long time. It's Grumpy Sunshine. It's set in Scotland, and it is also like the heroine is an actress. And like that sounds like such a perfect combination. I do want to make a vlog. I've been wanting to make that vlog for a million years, and like a very exciting one. And so I need to do that like literally as soon as possible. And so the hero owns like a whiskey distillery. It says that he's a grumpy Scottish Islander and one flirty Hollywood actress. And so yeah, her acting career hits rock bottom and she returns to her Scottish hometown. And so like, yeah, if you didn't know, I do live in Scotland, and so like I need to read more books set here because I think it'll be fun. And so this is one that I know I'm gonna absolutely love this. And so like, again, what am I waiting for, you know? And now I think I'm gonna move on to a few books that I have behind me. More specifically, the one right here on display, which is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, another one of my absolute top priorities. This just came out as well, and this is like a reimagining of Sleepless in Seattle, which I've never seen before. And it has been my mission to like watch all the rom-coms that I haven't seen, especially from like the 90s and 2000s, and I've been working on that, but this is one that I haven't watched. And as I mentioned, my Wi-Fi is not working, so I can't really watch it right now, but once I can, I'm gonna read this. Possibly I'm gonna read it before watching the movie, but we'll see how it goes. I also have this beautiful edition with the sprayed edges, and like I know I'm gonna love this. And B.K. Borison is one of my favorite authors as well, and just this is gonna be perfection. And oh god, like I don't know exactly what, like anything that has like a slightly different format, you know, but it should start with like, you know, calling onto a romance hotline. And so I love anything that's like texts or calls or whatever. And so I think I'm gonna absolutely love this. And so I will be reading it very soon. The next one that I have here is The Fiancé Dilemma by Elena Armas, and I also have beautiful sprayed edges of this one, and the edges especially make me want to read this in the spring as well, and so I really want to get to this. I think I'm gonna love this as well, and I haven't heard that many people talk about it, but who cares, you know? And I don't know if this has like a, obviously I think this could have like a fake engagement or something like that. Okay, there's a line in this that says the hero manages to get his car stuck, and the first person he comes across happens to be his best friend's sister Josie, who oddly introduces him as her fiance. So yeah, and I don't know if I've ever read, no, I've probably read a fake engagement, but it's not as often obviously as fake dating, and so I would love to do that. I want to read this, and so that is going to be happening, and I think I am going to love this. I don't know, it's giving me really like romantic, fun vibes, so this will be happening. And I think that the last book that I'm going to mention, because I don't want to be here all day, is Best Ex Ever by Nadia El-Fassi, and this is a book that I feel like partially I would maybe like to read in the fall instead, but I don't think I'm gonna care because it's been calling my name, and like the cover is giving me like, you know, a little bit of like Halloween or whatever, but like I can't just read paranormal romance in the fall because that's stupid. I don't know exactly what this is about, but there's been like, I have seen multiple of my favorite authors recommend this. Actually, looking back at the cover, looking at the back of the cover, there's a blurb by Lila Sage. A cozy delight, it's heartfelt, funny, and romantic. The perfect fall read. Then Olivia Dade, with its big heart and message of self-acceptance, this book is like curling up under a quilt on a chilly day. So yes, obviously everyone's giving fall vibes, but then I'm just like, as I mentioned, I live in Scotland, and the summer here is not exactly the same as it might be in other places. And so like I might as well embrace that, and like there's gonna be plenty of gloomy days, and so I'm gonna pick it up on those days. And I think I'm gonna love this. I don't know, it's giving me just super fun paranormal romance vibes. It says that Dinah is a skilled kitchen witch and cafe owner, serving magic-infused pastries to her loyal customers. And Scott is a museum curator, recently back in London after a brutal breakup. Ooh, okay, so I don't know, I think it's gonna be super fun. There's gonna be some kind of hex, obviously. So yeah. And yeah, so that is it for my immediate physical TBR, and I am so excited to devour all of these books. And obviously I'm going to be talking about all of them, or like a lot of them, very soon in vlogs. And yeah, let's hope that my Wi-Fi is going to come back to work, because I have a lot of vlogs that are obviously longer than videos like this, and so that is much more difficult to upload on a stupid public Wi-Fi. But let's hope that's going to, you know, happen soon. So yeah, but in the meantime, I'm going to be reading these books because I have more time for it now, because, you know, I don't have the internet. So with that, let me know what books you want to read on your physical TBR, and if you made it this far in the video, leave a honey emoji down below, or a bee emoji, but I think there's a honey emoji. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye!